Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 19 of the DualShockers WeebCast. I'm your host, Giuseppe Nelva, and with me are my co-hosts, Iyane Agossah and Jordan Boyd. Yes, we do have a second Vice Weeb today, and we'll talk more about Jordan in just a bit. As some of you might know by now, this is a weekly or semi-weekly, depending on the week, podcast on games, anime, manga, Japanese geek culture, and a few tidbits about Japan in general, for good measure. Of course, since DualShockers is a gaming website, the spotlight is on gaming, but true weebs aren't too formal about the distinction anyway. Today's main topic is obviously Tokyo Game Show. But first of all, we'll let Jordan introduce yourself. Hello, Jordan. Why don't you tell people who the hell you are?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan. I'm a staff writer at DualShockers. Been playing games my whole life, and only recently got most interested in Japanese video games in particular a couple years ago. And if you want to check out anything by me, recently I reviewed Senran Kagura Reflections on Switch and Metal Max Xeno on PS4. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me. But I am excited to talk Tokyo Game Show with you guys.
Is a very new by weeb, just 2 years. Like a real specimen. Like most weeb are weeb their whole life. So
Interestingly enough, technically the first Japanese game that I finished by myself was Final Fantasy 13. So not really the best
mm,
entry, but it's only gotten better from there. I've definitely picked games I've enjoyed a lot more.
okay, alrighty. So since Jordan introduced himself, let's go ahead and get into our first segment, which is what Japanese games we played this week, and what anime we watched. So I'm gonna start because Jordan needs an example. so, well, I didn't play much because I was a Tokyo Game Show. Okay, I played a ton of stuff, but not extensively because the Tokyo Game Show or any event you like play stuff for like half an hour. Actually, the game that I played the most because I had a lot of time, like Capcom's like preview event was 3 hours for two games. So I played a lot of Devil May Cry 5 and Resident Evil 2. And those are the games that I literally played the most extensively during the week. I played a little bit of Valkyria Chronicles 4 as well at the hotel because I'm in Tokyo, not at home. But my PS4 is with me. And that's pretty much it in terms of Japanese games. Oh, a little bit of Grand Blue Fantasy because that's a mobile, so I can play it when I'm around. But and a lot of tidbits at Tokyo Game Show. I'm gonna talk about that more extensively when we talk about Tokyo Game Show proper. Other than that, anime, I haven't watched a single thing for obvious reasons. Because I haven't that time. I've been like literally running around like a little spinner for 4 days, and actually more than 4 days because there are all the pre-Tokyo Game Show events. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, what about you?
Hi guys, well, I didn't really play much this week because of Tokyo Game Shows too, so I've checked out a bit of the Valkyria Chronicles for demo because the game is getting out next week and I'm really excited for it. I'm planning to get the Switch version next week, and besides that, I didn't really play much this week.
You watch any anime?
Same for anime. I didn't really have the time. I rewatched some stuff I like
Well, when
pretty.
you when you spend, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I rewatched some episodes of Freddy Rhythm, my favorite anime of recent years, and I had a lot of fun. But I didn't watch anything airing right now.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was saying, of course you don't have time when you spend like 2 hours translating like an hour of Kojima talk. That takes you literally translated an hour on Kojima. I don't know. I don't even know how you did it because honestly, Kojima is difficult to translate. Like, when he talks, I'm like, okay. Anyway, George, what about you?
So this week, I mean, I finished up Metal Max Xeno. I put about 30 hours into that game, and now that I've been
How
done with that, I've been switching. I typically, because I'm quite busy with school and stuff, I've been switching. I switch on and off between like Dragon Ball Fighters a lot. I definitely think that one's probably gonna be my game of the year. It's the Japanese game I've been constantly going back to this year. I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, so that one That one's been on my PS4 back and forth pretty much, but I've been rather busy, so got finished with Metal Max, and then I've been just playing Dragon Ball, really.
Gotcha. Any anime?
I am rewatching Naruto from the beginning. It's the show I grew up with. I'm currently watching it with
Oh,
someone.
that's a
Uh,
little one.
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
and I've been watching a little bit more Food Wars. I'm about to finish that one up. That one is really fun.
Oh yeah, I heard about it. I actually never seen it. I heard good things, but I'm not much into weird stuff.
Yeah, I usually don't get to watch too much anime just because I spend most of my free time playing games when I can. So I'm usually really far behind on like anime seasons and stuff. So whenever I get some free time, I try and get a couple episodes of whatever I want to watch in there. So I don't typically follow schedules. I just kind of watch whatever's on like Hulu or
And
something.
still you're watching Naruto.
Sorry.
And still you're watching Naruto, which is probably
Yeah,
one of
only because
the
someone wanted to
ever.
watch it with me, and I haven't seen it in so many years. So it's
Uh,
kind of nice to go back and revisit what kind of got me into watching anime more.
gotcha. Alrighty. Well, that's it for this segment. So let's jump into Tokyo Game Show immediately, since it's gonna be long and we don't want to like speak for like 3 hours. It would be a little
But we
exhausting.
could.
So, well, Tokyo Game Show started actually like 10 days before with Sony's press conference, but we're not gonna speak about that because we already did last actually 2 weeks ago, which but it was really weird to have a Sony pre Tokyo Game Show press conference 10 days before Tokyo Game Show. That was like super weird, but anyway, that was pretty exciting, especially for me that couldn't be there because my trip to Japan was like 6 days after. So I was like, "Oh, thank you, Sony. Thank you very much." That's very nice. When they told me, I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. So you're a Tokyo Game Show? Okay, you're invited to our conference. Blah 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 blah." And like, yeah, great. Of course I'm gonna come. So when is it? Like 2 days before Tokyo Game Show, or one day like last year? And no, it's the 10th. What?
I
And
could see, yeah, that's definitely problematic.
yeah, exactly. Since we're not a big site, so we can't exactly afford to like uh, change our booking of a
Hmm.
trip like a week before. That's kind of weird. Anyway, that's it. We already talked about Sony's press conference last episode, so we can talk about the show proper in the during this episode. There is still a lot to talk about. So let's start with the first day. We got a lot of things. Actually, we got the first day was the day before Tokyo Game Show, because the day zero there is a big Bandai Namco event, and that's when Bandai Namco starts dropping its bombs, like pretty literally, because they have his combat this time around. So um,
Yeah.
yeah, so which is funny because they started the event. They put us in a room. Actually, inside Tokyo Game Show, sorry, Bandai Namco's headquarters. There is this big conference room. So they sit down there and they start, and they're like, "Oh yeah, there is this news. An embargo is like 5 minutes ago." And what? Why are you doing this? Why don't you give us like an hour so we can at least start writing stuff? So yeah, that was fun. Anyway, the news started pretty heavy, and the first ones was about Ace Combat 7, which has some really exceptional pre-order bonuses. So if you pre-order on PS4, you get Ace Combat 5 for PS4, and which is, according to me, the best Ace Combat ever.
Mm.
And if you pre-order for Xbox One, you get Ace Combat 6, which was released on Xbox 360. This one is actually just a copy of the 360 game, and it works via backward compatibility. But still, I mean, you get to play to well, 5 is one of the best games of the franchise. 6 is probably not, but it's still good. So that was good. I was really happy when I heard that. I actually was like, yes, in front of like the producer, and it was like, hey. um, so yeah. Have you guys played any Ace Combat games?
I
J-
personally, sorry, I personally have not, but because
You
you
suck.
just, yeah, I haven't. I've heard about the series over the years, but I am never found myself being a huge flight simulator fan. The only flying I really do is in like Battlefield games and stuff like that. But I didn't know that was a pre-order bonus. So, and if 5 is one of the best ones, I might be more inclined to
It
give
is
that
the
a
best
shot.
one.
Yeah.
Well,
So.
there is two camps actually. Some people think that 4 is the best, and some people think it's 5. But and normally there is a big conflict between them.
Did they say that if you, because I don't know if I would pre-order 7 since I'm not, like I said, I haven't played the ones in the past. Are they going to release 5 separately, you think, at some point, if they
I
haven't
didn't say
announced it?
they haven't said, and I actually asked them. They say that they can say.
Well, hopefully.
So yeah, I hope so too. But because when you get, I'm probably going to do the review, and when you get a review copy, you don't get the pre-order bonuses. So I have
Yeah.
5. It's for PS2, and my PS2 is dead.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah,
Uh,
Yan, do you play any?
I played S Combat 4 on PS2. I really liked it, but I never tried any others of the series.
Oh,
And
you suck, dude.
yeah, and
You guys need to expand your horizons.
yeah, definitely, yeah. And a few years ago, there was a English patch for Ace Combat 3,
Oh, that was
and I always wanted to get into it, but I still haven't had the time to.
yeah. That one is actually pretty great, but it's very different from the others because it's much more like in the future. So it's a lot more like science fiction like normally his combat is like it's in an alternate world, but it's very like modern. It's modern day. But
Yeah,
that one is actually plain science fiction, so it's kind of weird, but it's nice because it has like really good anime graphics too as well. So it's
yeah,
very different.
that's what interested me. Yeah.
Of course, you weeb.
Will the game still be, is the full game going to be playable on PSVR?
No, actually, there is only 3 missions on PSVR,
Gotcha.
and it's not the campaign because the campaign is like very intense.
Yeah.
So the mission for PSVR are like specially geared, I guess, to work on PSVR because otherwise it wouldn't work as well. It looks really good. It's kind
Hmm.
of easy, but it looks really good on PSVR. You also have an option that you can basically direct an air show. You're like sitting on the deck of a carrier, and you like tell planes to do this or that, like acrobatics and stuff. That's
That
pretty
sounds
fun.
cool.
Yeah. Uh, Personally, I don't play VR, so but
Yeah. I mean,
that
I
for
guess
the
3 missions better because I don't sit there. I can't sit there too long and play.
yeah, no, for me, VR is the only issue. Like, the issue is that if I got like immersed into PlayStation VR or any VR headset, there would be no way to there would be no way for me to cover news, to actually keep an eye on the news with that, because I normally when I'm gaming, I have my screen. Actually, I have like 3 screens around me, and 2 of them are news feeds, and the other one is the game.
Hmm.
So if I have my face into a headset, I can see any of those, and that's bad. Anyway, second news, still from Bandai Namco, was Raphael for Soul Calibur 6. So yeah, what we was saying Soul Calibur 5, I have no idea, but 6. So that's the latest, maybe last character that's been announced. Have you guys played any past Soul Calibur game or the new one somewhere?
Yeah, I've played. I started playing Soul Calibur way back with Soul Calibur 2 on GameCube, with the Link and stuff, and I love that game. That's one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm super stoked for Soul Calibur 6. I skipped 3, but I did play 4 and 5. I didn't like 5 very much, but 4 was very fun. So I honestly can't wait to get my hands on 6, and I'm really hoping they announce some more like guest characters, kind of like what they're doing with Tekken.
Mhm.
Super excited to hear more about
Like
that.
because it's gonna be well, they did tell me. I took the producer at Gamescom, and it did tell me that in this first season pass. Well, it didn't say first, so I don't take it as a confirmation that there's going to
Hmm.
be more than one. I say in the season pass, one other character could be another guest character, and it didn't say anything more. But there
Mm.
could be one. I have no idea who that could be, and
Same.
honestly, I have really no idea.
I'm really just hoping because I know we pestered Yoko Taro about this at PAX.
Oh,
I just want to be in something, so bad, so badly. Like whether it be Smash or Soul Cal, she'd be good for either of those games.
the funny thing, I actually talked about talked with SNK's boss at Tokyo Game Show. The interview is still not out, and we were talking about crossover characters. And SNK likes to put like their characters everywhere,
Mhm.
literally.
Yeah.
And we're talking about what kind of character we could have on Soul Calibur 6, and it was talking about what's the name of that character in Samurai Shodown that she is using a rapier and she's doing
Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah,
Charlotte. Yeah.
that, yes, and that she would fit like
Yeah,
like
definitely.
me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, I probably was just speculating though. But yeah, wouldn't be so surprising considering that SNK has a character in Tekken 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they put a character in anything. I think there is someone that works at SNK, and his title is character peddler.
Just constantly sending emails like, "Hey,
Anyway, you want my Shirano in your they put a character in Fighting X Slayer.
Yeah.
Who would have
yeah."
thought? Anyway, Raphael, yeah, it looks cool. He has glasses this time around.
Yeah, I feel like they just try and make him look as fancy as possible, like always.
Yeah, that's really fancy.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he needs to get his eyesight. Oh, it takes place in the past, I think, so I guess.
It's basically a reboot. It's not the past. It's a reboot of the first story, by the way.
Okay.
So it's at the beginning of the series, pretty much. Which
Yeah.
I actually played the first. It was one of my first fighting games on PS1,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember playing a lot with my girlfriend at that time because she was into games a lot, and and she hated me because I always used Siegfried, and Siegfried in the first game was like super cheesy. There is a I don't know if you're aware, there is a move with Siegfried that you just like chop in front of you vertically, and in one that was like super cheesy. If you had the right timing, it was no, if the other person, the opponent wasn't really, like really really good, there was no way that passed through that. So
Oh,
that was
jeez.
like my cheesy beginning of in fighting games, which is why probably I'm better at fighting games nowadays. Yeah, and do you have a favorite Soul Calibur character?
I'd say I'm not sure. I'd say Sophicia.
Sophicia? Oh
Yeah.
well, I'd say Ivy because boobs.
I'd have to go with probably either Mitsurugi or Yoshimitsu, even though Yoshimitsu is kind of I guess a crossover character to some extent, since I think he originated in Tekken.
Is it Tekken or Soul Calibur? I
I
have no
don't
idea.
know. I don't remember. I don't know the exact answer to that, but I do
Yeah,
love
but now,
Yoshimitsu. He's just wild.
yeah, it's weird. There are some weird characters in like
Oh, I like
Voldo.
Taki too, just because she's sick.
And Tekken is nice, but Voldo's the best.
Yeah, Waldo, the character that scared me as a child for the first time.
Are you like psychologically scarred by Voldo?
Yeah, my like poor like Western mind, like seeing Voldo for the first time, like what the hell? What the hell is this guy? It's just like Freddy
Voldo is a
Krueger.
question. Isn't he Italian or something? Okay. So, what else we got from that event? Well, we got a lot of things, but that day it was a trailer with One Piece on World Seeker. They shown the two new characters. The character main character is the villain. The female character is the heroine of the game. That game actually looks interesting to me. I'm not a massive fan of One Piece
Yeah, same here.
mostly because of the graphics. Like I mean, the art style is not my kind of favorite stuff, but the open world stuff and the story also seem pretty interesting. What about you, Jordan? Are you interested?
I'm not super interested. I mean, I'm always wary with the anime games, and specifically that game doesn't look too interesting to me. I feel like there hasn't been a really great One Piece game, but I do know how like even when I was in Japan for a little while, I feel like One Piece is like the SpongeBob for Japan. It's just almost everywhere. You'll find it in the most obscure places that you wouldn't
Okay,
expect.
that's
Yeah,
Uh,
SpongeBob Japan is interesting.
yeah, but yeah, I'm not super interested in the game. I may give it a try, but like you, I'm not a huge One Piece fan. I'm more out of like the big three. I'm more like Naruto and Dragon Ball as opposed to One Piece. It just never hooked me. Not a big pirates guy, I guess. You know.
Yeah, not much into Jump series myself.
Hmm.
The only
yeah, same
yeah
here.
that kind of like is Bleach, but because it was probably a little bit more mature than the other ones, but
Hmm.
just a bit, so I could actually bear it. I can say I like it, but at least I bear it. Like I can watch it without having to run to the bathroom or something. But yeah, the issue with me with Bandai Namco and anime games is that they're literally doing too many.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're like literally doing games that are like churned out like crazy. I think they have some package deals. Like they if they want some really cool IPs, they also have to buy the crappy ones, like Black Clover, for instance. Uh, and because Black Clover, the anime is really bad. I'm not saying that the game is bad because I haven't played it, but the anime is really terrible. But yeah, the thing is that when I worked in anime when I was like much younger, the company I worked for, they licensed anime in packages. So if they wanted, like for instance, Evangelion was a really good IP, they also had to get together with Evangelion a bunch of like really crappy stuff that no one wanted to do, but they still had to because it was contractually they were contractually forced to do so. So I think Bandai Namco might have the same thing going on. Like they get Dragon Ball, which makes them a ton of money, but then they have to do a ton of like small series that they know they're not going to make a ton of money out of them, so they also make them low budget in order not to lose money. That's
Yeah.
my theory. Of course, I have no confirmation of this, but yeah, that's pretty much it for One Piece and Bandai Namco's anime invasion. Actually, funnily, I discovered something that I didn't know. D3 Publisher, the publisher of the publisher of Earth Defense Force, is actually a sister company of Bandai Namco.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and they were at Bandai Namco's event with Earth Defense Force 5 and Iron Rain. So I actually tried both. Well, I actually had played that 5 quite a bit in Japanese, but Iron Rain is interesting. I'm not sure I'm too fond of the fact that they want to try and westernize the front. No, like, it's a spin-off almost entirely catering to the Western market. So like they set it in San Francisco and stuff. But the gameplay is like what we're used to with our Defense Force. It's really crazy.
Um, could I again? I mean, cause I've spoken to a couple people. I'm a little bit of an Earth Defense Force fan. I haven't played all of them, but I've played some. Can you kind of what? So is it really just like it's called Iron Rain, right? It's Earth Defense Force 5, and then we have the other one that's
Iron
it's
Rain. Yeah.
Iron Rain, yeah. And are they being developed different studios, or it was one of the studios a Western
I believe
studio
it's
or
different.
something?
Not a Western studio, but they made it in a style that's kind of more Western, according to them,
Okay.
which doesn't mean that it's Western at all. But they like set it in the West as a setting, and they made the graphics a little bit more realistic, I guess.
Okay.
But I don't know. The game you can find the gameplay on the side. It's fun.
Yeah, I
It's
watched a little bit.
like gameplay. The gameplay is the gameplay of Earth Defense Force. That never changes.
Did they kind of talk about their decisioning behind releasing two games so close to one another in the series?
I actually well the thing is that in Japan the 5 was released like last year,
Okay.
so there
Yeah,
is
yeah.
actually
Oh,
years between them. And the thing about Air Defense Force 5, actually, I interviewed Okamura-san, the producer, and he told me that the simple reason is that they actually wanted to do a proper localization with the highest production values that they could. So they actually did full voice acting in English,
Okay.
uh, which is why it took them long because they weren't used to it.
oh, okay.
Gotcha.
And on the other hand, Iron Rain they want to do with simultaneous release the West and Japan. So basically, it's going to be very close because one is coming in December, the other one is going to come next year. But I'm actually pretty excited, to be honest, because I like 4.1 a lot, and I like 5 a lot, but I haven't like enjoyed it as much because it's in Japanese. So I'm
Alright.
about it. Yeah. What about you, Jan? Did you play any Air Defense Force games before?
No, I never did. I never played the series. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Let's move on to the next news. This was for that day of news at Bandai Namco, but I've seen a bunch of other things, which were like disembargoed 2 days after. So I've seen Jump Force, I've seen God Eater 3, I've seen well, God Eater 3, by the way, is very promising. I'm very excited about that one, especially because they changed the development team. It's not Dimps anymore, and it's marvelous. And they seem to have been doing a great job with it. It's the same team, or part of the same team that worked on Soul Sacrifice.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, they're doing a well. Soul Sacrifice was a good hunting action game, but it had problems that were probably outside of the purview of that team. But this one is promising. I like it. I like the gameplay. I like the graphics. They actually like changed the engine a little bit. I believe they are using the same engine that they're using with Code Vein.
Okay.
Yeah, it would make sense.
But yeah, it looks good. I had fun with it. There is also there is I played 3 missions, so there is like a whole like 20 minutes of gameplay on the side.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the ones that I liked the most. There were some Taiko Drum Master, but I didn't play that one because I'm terrible at breaking games. It was Jump Force, which I have reservation about. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys.
same here.
Yeah.
It feels like it's the same kind of gameplay that Bandai Namco is putting on a ton of games, which is like a brawler style half fighting game, but it's not really a fighting game. And it's the same in Black Clover, just Black Clover is as teams, and the same in Naruto Shinobi Striker, and
Yeah.
which also has teams, but and it's the same in My Hero Academia as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is also the same that seems that how do you call it? Arc System Works is using for the Kill game.
Kill la Kill. Yeah, it's battle arena 3D stuff.
Yeah, whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know the definition of that honestly.
Yeah.
But for me, is fighting game, but not really. So yeah, I don't know. Jump Force. I mean, the idea is cool. The idea of having like the jump characters colliding in the real world, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure the gameplay supports it. And
Yeah.
it's Sunsoft, which is very hit and miss with these games, honestly.
Yeah, I think
They have some hits, but they also have some misses.
I think I told you when I think we first saw the game at E3 earlier this year when they sent us that like alpha footage. I was like, this doesn't look great. It just kind of looks to me like you see those like anime projects that people do in Unreal Engine, and that's what it looks like to me. I like the concept of like all of those characters that we haven't seen in games before. Making a crossover with one another. I think the inclusion of like Yu-Gi-Oh and Death Note is really cool. You don't see those games often get much representation. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh you get a lot of representation in the game
but not
space. Yeah, but not a fighting game. So I think that's cool. But like you said, it kind of has that copy and paste gameplay, and it just doesn't. I don't think like the graphics look very great. I think everyone looks a little bit weird personally. But I'm open.
The environments don't really fit the characters for now.
Yeah.
Which is also a problem that I see in One Piece World Seeker as well. So I don't know. We'll see. There is still time before it releases, so they may do it right.
I'll give it a good go. I'm a fan of it.
I actually interviewed the producer at Gamescom, and the interview still has to be published, but it will come soon. And he seemed pretty enthusiastic, and so he seemed pretty confident. We'll see if they manage to do something good. I'm always open before a game release. Then if it's crap, it's crap. But yeah. And that was pretty much it for the Bandai Namco event. It was fun. It was a lot of fun, and actually, that's another event in which you get a lot of time to actually play the game. I actually did a really, really good mission at Ace Combat 7, which is not the one that's on the site, which is still pretty decent. But the really good one got lost because someone tripped on the cord. Literally.
Oh, that
That
sucks.
was like literally the worst. I'm like, oh, come on. Look where you watch where you're going. My goodness.
Yeah, I can
Oh,
see you giving them the death stare right after that happens, trying to reserve yourself, being like,
well.
"Oh, okay, I guess the demo's over."
Ah, okay. Anyway, yeah, that was it pretty much for the jump for the Monday Uncle event. Then there was another thing that was cool. You guys know what Bit Summit is?
I've heard the name. I actually am not familiar with it off the top of my head.
Don't Google it. I can tell you myself. Did you ever hear it, Ian?
Could you repeat, please? What was the
Bit
name?
Summit. Have you ever
Oh
heard?
no,
So Bit Summit is
yeah,
a big
no,
event
I
in
don't.
Kyoto about all about Japanese indie developers. Well, not only Japanese, but mostly about Japanese indie developers, because Kyoto is a super big like indie scene. It has like the makers of like Pixel Junk franchise, for instance. They're pretty much all in Kyoto. But this year they made a evening event at pre-Tokyo Game Show in Tokyo. So they call it like Bisami Road Show in Tokyo Game at Tokyo Game Show. And it was pretty cool. With a ton of indie developers, I tried quite a few interesting things. I tried Travis Star Tribes Again by Suda51. I tried some new things that I don't even remember the name, but they were cool. Sorry. And well, when you try like 20 games in a row, you like kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
actually,
I have written down somewhere, but like it was literally like a whole room full of computers and stuff and consoles, and you just move from one to the other like in 5 minutes. So yeah, and then I tried the one that was really really cool, which is what's the name? Ah, my God, it was an interesting little game that I forgot the name of that one as well, but I basically played that you can actually create you had your character, there is another character in an arena, and you can customize your shot. So you have two different kinds of shots, and you can completely customize that, like trajectory and whatnot. And then you have to fight with the other characters. There are some obstacles that you can use as cover, and it's super fast. And I wish I remember how that was called, because that was a really cool game. I really enjoyed playing that. And then there was keynotes as well, like conferences. So it was Platinum Games. There was the usual Inaba-san and oh my God, where's
uh,
my head tonight? Yeah, I slept 10 hours in the past 4 days. Like I think it's kind of Kamiya-san.
yeah.
So they actually said something about Bayonetta, not Bayonetta 3, not much. So they say that it's proceeding great. They are excited, and they're for once they're on track, and everyone is on the same thing. I don't know why they say for once, but
Next time, next time, if you don't remember Kamiya-san's name, you can just say block button guy.
oh my God. The funny thing is that Kamiya-san, sorry, comes out so abrasive on Twitter, but is a really sweet guy in person. I don't know if anyone, if any of you has met him in person, but he's a really sweet guy. So yeah, it's really strange to think that it's like so it comes out so strongly on Twitter, because I honestly in real life is like is a piece of bread. So yeah, but that was interesting. And then there was another one by Suda51, but I had to go to bed because it was like it was 10 p.m. and the day after I had to wake up at 6 to go to the Kentucky Game Show. So yeah, next time. But I played the game. The game is actually a lot of fun. I like it. Did you play the 3, Jordan?
Which one? The No More Heroes, you
Star-
said, right?
Yeah.
I haven't played any No More Hero games in the past, and I haven't tried the new one yet, so
Totally.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna give this one a shot. I might just pass on it. There's just too much coming out, you know?
Yeah, I understand. But they actually delayed it to help Smash Bros. So yeah,
Oh yeah, it's
but,
coming out in January now, right?
yeah, because otherwise they would have like stolen sales from Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Boy. Anyway, morning after Capcom time. So I went and played Devil May Cry 5 and Resident Evil 2, and both are great. So that was fun. And then I also had an interview with Hideaki Tsuno, the director of Devil May Cry 5, and the producer, which is Matt Walker, which is Matt is a really cool guy. Like is a bit like a bit of a clown sometimes, but he does it on
Hmm.
purpose. It's like he does like some really strange voice, like some really metal voices, like to do that.
I was watching some of the stream. Was he the guy in the paint? You said the clown mask and stuff. Was that him?
I don't know, but I think he just like to be very metal, he express himself. So he's a fun guy. He's a really fun guy. The best thing I asked Itsuno-san, since Itsuno-san did like a million of games for Capcom, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
So I actually didn't think the best thing of that interview is that not about Devil May Cry 5. But they asked him if which games of his past he would like to bring back and make a new one, right?
yeah.
And he made like a super long list that like he talked about Street Fighter Alpha, he talked about Street Fighter 6, he talked about Dragon Dogma 2 and all that, but he said that the one that he really wants to bring back and make a third game is Rival Schools. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one, because you guys,
Yeah, I'm a huge fan actually.
Rival Schools was a
Yeah,
really old game. Like the first one was on PS1 and the second one was on Dreamcast.
yeah,
And basically, the best thing, the first one, you could create your character, but it wasn't like Soul Calibur that you can create your character and then just go around and beat people. There was actually a dating simulation in the school because it was in school, and basically you forged your character via that kind of gameplay. It was too fun. Like it had a really good story and a ton of content.
yeah.
So
It was a visual novel, but basically,
kind of visual novel like.
yeah,
Visual novel fighting game,
yeah,
and the characters were really cool, and well, basically it was an anime in fighting game form, pretty much, and so it made me real happy to hear Funo-san, uh, like think about that and saying that he would like to remake that. It's of course not a promise that he's gonna because it's not his decision, but it's nice to hear that people are still remember that game and they still want to make a third because thing is that he said basically that the first game Japanese high school is 3 years, right? So the
yeah,
first
Hmm.
game was the first year, second game was the second year. So it would be good to make a third in the third year, ended with their graduation ceremony, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah. The funny thing is that when he said rival school, I literally in front of him and Walker-san, I was like, yes! Like everyone was laughing because I
That's
was
when they
big.
knew that they had to do it.
Yeah. Funny thing is that Itsuno-san, for being a director of one of like the most anticipated games nowadays, is like super humble. Today I was coming back from Tokyo Game Show and I was on the train, super crowded local train from Chiba because Tokyo Game Show is not in Tokyo. It's actually in Chiba, which is like 30 kilometers from Tokyo. So it takes like 70 minutes from my hotel to get there. So I was in this super crowded local train that you would in the West you never see a developer, a high ranking developer on. I look to my left and I see Tsuno-san right there. Like what?
Oh, that's cool.
It was there him and his producer, not Matt Walker, but the other producer, uh, and they were there, simply chatting like anyone else. You know, that's
Yeah,
I really like about Japanese developers. They're not the only one, but Japanese developers, even high-ranking ones, unless you go look at the superstars like I don't know Nagoshi-san, but they are super humble. They're like absolutely normal people. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I'm not saying that like Western developers are not, but like if your Western developers goes to an event, like a high-ranking game director goes to an event somewhere, as a minimum they call him a taxi, right?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
bare minimum, if not like shuttle and limousine and whatnot. But seeing a director, the director of the most anticipated game of the year, that makes anticipated game of the year at the moment for
Yeah,
many,
I could just see you
in a
like.
locked train, like squished in the middle of the crowd because there was a million people on the train. Because think about the Tokyo Game Show, literally everyone at the end at 5 p.m. when the little music comes out, the little music, closure music that always comes out in all Japanese venues and shops at 5 p.m. So you see everyone squished and Hideaki Tsuno by your side, like 10 years away. And it was like, oh, hello, you're DualShockers, right? And I'm like, yeah. So, and he's like thanking me for the awards because we gave him awards. And I can say because by tomorrow, when this episode's out, um, the awards will be already published. So we actually gave him a ton of awards. We gave him, they won Reader's Choice Game of Show, our Game of Show. Then we gave them best PS4, Xbox One, PC. So yeah, it was happy. And so he thanked us for the awards and all that. And I was like, hey, well, then you're welcome. That's very well deserved because the game was really, really great.
Yeah,
That's
that's
really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gameplay was really great. I was really impressed. I played it on with the assist mode on because I'm shit at the combos. The combos in the Democrat are really complex, and Dante is even more complex in this game. Like he has multiple stances, and each stance is different combo. And within those multiple stances, he has like different weapons, both for melee and range, and each weapon has different combos as well. So like an hour with it is not enough to learn it. Not even close. Nero is easier, much easier. But Dante is crazy complex. So yeah,
That's
I
cool to
was
hear. Honestly, I
Yeah.
mean, I could just see you like, I love. I think when you go to Japan, riding the trains is like an experience in and of itself, and just I could just imagine you kind of like fanboying over him, just
well, I
being like
wasn't
so.
a professional.
I definitely
I
would
was
have been
very
fanboying.
nice. No, but yeah, but funnily, like no one around us, like we're chatting and I called him by name, no one around us paid us any mind. And it was all gamers on that train because, of course, everyone was coming back from Tokyo Game Show. So no one actually, went in, oh, picture, autograph, whatever. No, they left him alone
Yeah.
because everyone in Japan is like very respectful of other people's privacy, right?
Yeah, it's not the same culture.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just you can imagine, for instance, in a Western train, um, you you notice like I don't know the director of Bioware in a train that comes out from a tree or from some other event, PAX maybe that's more of like a fan event, and someone calls this person by name, he would be absolutely like swamped with people asking for autographs and pictures and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah. So Devil May Cry was really cool, and Resident Evil was really cool as well. There was a new demo, but I can't actually talk about it because it's still under embargo for quite a while. So I can't say anything about it at all. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, that's it. Sorry. Oh boy. And then after that, what else was there on Monday? Actually, you know what? I should probably bring up my calendar. That's where I have everything written down, right?
Yeah.
So let me bring up my calendar. Google Calendar. Google. Actually, I could just bring it up on my phone. Stupid me, because I need to search it. Okay, you're right. Oh, what the?
Yeah.
Sorry. Some video started in my computer, so it was in my ears, and we're like, no, what the hell is happening? Uh, so Google Calendar, September, whatever. what I had. So yeah, on the first day I also had some Miss America. I talked with Kono-san Miyaoka-san, which is the producer director of Metal Maxino.
Yeah.
So you are very
Awesome.
familiar. Uh, you're very familiar, Jordan.
Yeah, with his work.
Miyaoka-san like is really is like it feels like a Care Bear. It's like really nice and gentle in the way he speaks, like very subdued. And then I took
He
sorry, go ahead.
now is he the now because I when I did a little bit
The
of research on
director.
the game, because it has Metal Max Sagas was the only game to come over west.
Yeah,
Has he been on the series the entire time? I
yeah,
think they got a different studio to do Xeno.
but it's always him, yeah.
Okay,
And then I took Nikawa-san, the boss of Nipponichi Software,
cool.
which also told me a few things, a few interesting things, but that's gonna be in the interview. Mostly, the most interesting thing that he told me is that now, pretty much now they want to support the Switch and the PS4 equally, like as a because they're both like very successful consoles, so. There have been voices like that they were leaning towards one or the other, but no, they want to. They just care about doing things like balanced. They want to sell the game to everyone, and that's it. I also asked him if they want to make something on Xbox One, but he wasn't too positive about that one. Not
Hmm.
about Xbox One, but about making games for it because it doesn't sell in Japan.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was for the first game. The first day, the most important thing. I also had like minor stuff, of course. Then second day, um, more more like interviews with Miss America, um, which I had Yamanaka-san, which is the director of Caligula, which was
Oh.
interesting. Super young, like he's probably like 25 or something.
Oh, really?
Either that or he's like super, like he looks super young. So that was interesting, definitely. But it's interesting because before being a game developer, he studied psychology,
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
and that kind of shows in his game. Really. I don't know if you
yeah.
guys played the first Caligula, the PS Vita version, but it kind of shows a lot.
Yeah.
Then it was like, my favorite interview at all time. The whole thing, the interviews, a group of interviews. So I went to the three publisher, and I interviewed the producer of Air Defense Force 5 and Iron Rain. And so he explained me all the things I was talking about. But he is also the producer of Onishambara Origin, and he told me
Yeah.
that he is planning to bring that to the West. So that's pleasing for those who like fan service. The most interesting one, though, was the other producer that does Omega Labyrinth Live on the Switch.
Yeah.
So Jordan, you just play Samurai Kagura Reflections on the Switch. It's
Yes.
pretty much the same thing, but multiplied by 20.
Oh gee. Oh, well, that's like, oh gosh.
You,
That's
you
much.
know, you know how Omega Labyrinth is like the concept of this of the game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit familiar with it, but I have not played myself.
So basically, for our listeners that don't know about it, Omega Labyrinth basically you play some. It's a roguelite. Roguelite. So basically, you explore dungeons that are randomly generated. If you die, you go back to you lose everything. But you can empower your characters with a mysterious omega energy that literally makes their boobs grow.
Oh.
And this game is gonna be on the Switch.
Oh,
So that's funny. The funny thing is that like Omega Labyrinth T, which is the previous one, supposed to come to the West on PS4, and it was so scandalous that Sony blocked it.
hmm
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I remember reading about that.
But he actually told me that's not why they went on the Switch. The reason why he went on the Switch is simply that they want to um, they want to go back to the original series. It was on PS Vita, so you had actually touch controls, so you could touch the girl.
Ah.
So that's what you do on the touch screen on the Switch.
Yeah, maybe it'll work better than Reflections did with the Joy-Con. That was a little bit of an odd experience for me.
I haven't tried it, so I actually don't know. Like I actually talked with the producer before, Takagi-san, and he told me it was like super experimenting with the HD Rumble. It
Hmm.
doesn't work that well.
No, I did not think so. I mean, because I was like laughing because I don't know if you read
Do
the
you have
review.
actual experience with 3D girls? No, just
Yeah.
so I know.
Yeah, but I was watching like trailers and stuff when they were kind of showing what they were doing with the HD Rumble, and I was like, I see what they're going for here, but it kind of just feels like the Joy Cons are just vibrating in your hands, and I'm like, this is a bit of
Well,
an odd
maybe that it does feel like a jelly, like they were showing in the trailer, not like the actual stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't tried it. I actually don't plan to. As much as I like fan service, I don't think that game has an interesting gameplay loop that could actually like catch me or whatnot.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other thing that the producer of Onechan Bar told me. First of all, both of them were very aware of the new policies of Steam has, which is that nowadays whatever they publish, whatever, as long as it's not illegal. So they actually did know that their games that are a little bit more weird, they can go on Steam if they want,
Hmm.
considering
Mm.
it. Also, they're also considering the possibility for like some older games, like Happy Manager, for instance, that was not localized on, or Dream Club as well. It was not localized because
Yeah.
problems on Steam that wouldn't have problems anymore. So yeah, that's interesting. It was a very interesting experience because they were like very open and honest about it. Like when I asked about the how did they come up with the idea of the boobs, the growing boobs, he very simply told me because I like boobs, which is kind of refreshing. It kind of reminds me of Yoko Taro when they asked him why like 2B had like high heels and whatnot. And he
Your
said,
butt.
I girls. And so yeah, that's kind of refreshing for me. But yeah, anyway, next one. I had the interview with Oda-san, SNK. Uh, Finally, I was pretty much not allowed to talk about Samurai Spirit, which is what I wanted to talk about.
Oh.
Uh, yeah. So the only thing that I managed to talk about that was if they were happy about the reception, and they were, well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, figure they tell me no, right? So we actually talked a lot about heroines, which is and about things that they would like to do and like they would like to make a lot of stuff. Uh, the funny thing that there is a news piece on the site is that they asked me, any of you guys is familiar with Metal Slug?
Yeah, of course, you know.
Only by name, and I've played a little bit, but never, very in depth.
Was super difficult one, like because you get it once you die.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, I asked him like a message as usual at the end for the Western fans and whatnot. He told me, no, actually, I don't want to give you a message. I want to ask you something. Ask your reader something. If it would be okay if we rebooted Metal Slug, if we kept nowadays this one hit KO mechanic. It's interesting because basically I don't know if he's teasing or not, but that's interesting that he asks us if it's okay.
Yeah.
That was pretty cute. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to what they do next. He also told me that they are. I'm pretty sure you guys, especially you, Jordan, you like fighting games quite a bit. So you're pretty much into King of Fighters, right?
It's one of the harder ones, but I do have. I only just started getting into the series, because like I was saying, my first real like Japanese game machine was PS3, so I actually didn't really adopt the series until
God.
King of Fighters 14, which was what my friends tell me is a very tough fighting game to learn. So I'm not as good at it as other fighting games like Dragon Ball and Soul Calibur and Street Fighter 5, but I am definitely into the series aesthetic, and characters are iconic, obviously, and I've been playing a lot of old SNK games on Dreamcast, but I'm not a super hardcore fan of the
Well, they
SNK stuff.
told me that they're kind of starting to talk about this King of Fighters 15, but
Hmm.
they haven't like they're not like they're not like developing actively at the moment.
Yeah,
Uh,
makes sense. Yeah.
then I had an interview about the Atelier series, Melky, that was already announced, of course, and that one is under embargo, so I can't say anything. So yeah, that was so I can say what I talked about but it was about Nelky, so you know that
Yeah.
is coming, so that's not an issue to say, but Nelke actually because it's like a Germanish name. That game is interesting because it basically is.
You still there?
Oh no, did he disconnect? Oh no, I think GG died.
Oh,
Hello, can you hear me, guys?
Now we can hear you. Yeah, you're back.
Yeah,
yeah.
I actually just touched the plug of my headset. Oops.
No problem. Just cut it.
Uh, uh,
Scrap the
so
whole
ba-
thing.
yeah, so basically the thing I was talking about Nelke, which
Yeah.
is like the gameplay loop is a mix of a city builder and a JRPG. Pretty much like the
Yeah.
Cloud series. I don't know if you guys have heard about that one. That's an old PS2 series. But that's
I only
interesting.
know the name.
Yeah, but think SimCity and JRPGs mixed together. Well,
Okay.
not as deep as SimCity, but of course.
Hmm.
Uh, it's an interesting one. And then I had a interesting but like a bit unusual interview. Because I interviewed Watanabe-san, which is the director or RPG maker MV. I think that's the right name. So actually, I never thought I interview someone that makes it suit to make games. But that one was interesting. Um, I'm actually looking forward to actually writing it because it gave me some interesting stuff. And that was pretty much for the important appointments. Then the past 2 days were mostly random coverage, going around taking pictures of boot companions. You know well, that is inevitable. Uh, they're an interesting bunch. I mean the tradition in Japan is very interesting.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
people used to the West are probably see it in a different way that they're seen in Japan.
Yeah.
Like in Japan, boot companions are like the goddesses of the show. They're like super respected, and if they grant you a smile, you're like, "Yay, she smiled to me." Well, me because I actually have experience with 3D girls, but a lot of people that like tried those those convention probably don't. So yeah, that they're very like kind and gracious in how they behave, and
Yeah.
they smile like in a way that when they smile, like they light up pretty much. So it's very nice. It's very interesting to take pictures of them because they know what they're doing and they do it very well. So yeah, we're gonna have an article about that. Actually, when this podcast is out, the article is probably gonna be around. It's probably gonna be out already. Then I went around and played a bunch of game. Days Gone. It's not Japanese, but it was there, so why not, right?
Yeah.
Still got quite a few news though. Besides what I actually played, because the past 2 days were like live stream nonstop, like stage events nonstop. There was a ton of them. So more Devil May Cry, more Resident Evil 2. There was the Kojima one today.
Yeah.
Hey, The one that Jan translated like crazy. Jan, like, you told me that you didn't even notice it was so short because it was so long because like you were having so much fun that it went by for super fast, right?
Yeah, I didn't realize that I talked this much. Basically, when I went through my notes and I read the post, I was like, "Whoa, it was this long."
But it was fun, right?
Yeah, it was definitely fun. Yeah,
And they revealed a ton of stuff that I didn't expect.
same.
Well, they revealed two characters, one new trailer. That's a lot. I mean, I honestly expected them literally just to talk about the Japanese voice actors, which I guess you would have liked anyway because you're a fanatic. Yeah. But yeah, that they really revealed a lot, and I was surprised. But
Yeah.
the new character is super cool. One of them is like played by Troy Baker. So yeah, yay for another character played by Troy Baker. The
Oh.
millionth. He'll have the celebration for the millionth character he plays in video games. I like Troy Baker, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'd love to interview Troy Baker one of these days. Seems like a really cool guy.
He is. I actually met him a couple of times. Didn't interview him, but met him like at events, and it is very
Oh, that's cool.
open and nice. Um, there was a lot of Kingdom Hearts presence, a lot of new gameplay and stuff. I really like the Big Hero 6 word,
Hmm.
and then I'm actually excited. I tried it, and I heard a lot of people that weren't too happy about the demo, which was the same demo at E3, and I actually heard people that weren't happy from E3. Personally, I loved it. I enjoyed it a lot. Maybe it wasn't like spectacular, but JRPGs don't really demo well because the
Yeah.
best part is the story.
Yeah.
So
Of course.
yeah, so yeah, for me it was pretty interesting. And then today they showed the first gameplay of Left Alive. That was really good.
Yeah.
You guys ever been into Armor Core or Front Mission?
For sorry.
No, you can go.
Go ahead.
Well,
Uh,
guys, okay, I'll be the referee. Yeah.
All right. So for Armored Core, I didn't play the series, but Front Mission, I played the remake of the first game on DS, and that was quite nice. But I never played the other one, so I'm looking forward to Left Alive. Yeah.
Hey, you, Jordan?
I have not played either Armored Core or Front Mission. I know Left Alive is based in the Front Mission universe, if I'm
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
I checked out some of the gameplay that you
The
posted,
director is Armor Core.
and
That's
I like that style of game. I'm a big shooter fan outside of like Japanese stuff, so I'm definitely excited to give it a try. I don't think the third-person shooter stuff looked too great, but the mech stuff itself looked awesome. Like I was watching that mech gameplay you uploaded, and it looks so cool.
Well, for me, the big attractive of the game is, of course, the character design by Shinkawa-san. I mean, Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Do I need to say anything else? The funny thing is, the first time they actually showed me this gameplay, I actually shown it before because they shown it at Gamescom behind closed doors, only to press. And like the first time I saw the lady, one of the three characters, I believe her name is Olga. Uh, I was like, okay, this is Shinkawa, like for sure. Like, it wasn't his art. I mean, it's a 3D model, so of course it's not Shinkawa's
Yeah.
art, but it's like looking at Metal Gear Solid game, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And like, yes, she looks so good. I also like the fact that like the characters are like Russian or Russianish because of course it's fictional thing. Like
Yeah.
countries are fictional, but I like it because that's not a culture. You have main characters a lot in video games.
Yes. Yeah. It's an interesting choice. Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting to me because normally like main characters are American or Japanese. That not
Mm.
definitely there isn't much representation of Russian or Russian-ish people
Yeah.
in or Slavic anyway. Like the closest thing is The Witcher that has some Slavic representation in it. it's interesting for me to see how they. Well, of course, I mean it's a Japanese game, so I don't expect them to be ultra realistic in representing the West.
Mhm.
But still, right?
Yeah.
At least the names are correct. Like the way because Russian names are pretty complex. At least that much.
Yeah.
Uh, that was another thing interesting this morning. They had like this crossover with between Final Fantasy 15 and the Terra Wars, which is Hironobu Sakaguchi's game, like mobile game, and
Mhm.
seeing a Sakaguchi stuff in a Final Fantasy is kind of nostalgic.
Yeah.
Even if it just had to close Terra Wars, Terra Battle 2, because, but it's not because it was unsuccessful, because his technology partner just stopped making. That's really bad luck.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it's basically the people that did the Bravely series, Silicon
Mm,
Studio,
mm,
and they just stopped making games to focus on their middleware and engines and stuff, So
Mhm.
that's sad. Anyway, yeah, and that it also has like some crossover with Childhood Tomb Raider, but that's less exciting, I guess.
Oh yeah, the
Not because I don't care
costume.
about Childhood Tomb Raider, but just because it's just costumes.
Yeah.
This is something Yen will love, and probably you too, Jordan. They announced the logo of Dragon Quest XI for Switch.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yes, I saw that. I wasn't too happy. I mean, I'm happy it's coming to Switch, obviously, because Dragon
Yeah,
Quest
but the
11.
logo.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was
I,
like, Square's really the type of company to like, hype a logo. I'm like, ugh, just give us something, please.
and the funny thing is, I don't know if you guys watched live stream, but there was Yuji Horii-san, the creator of Dragon Quest, and he was like dropping some small hints on top of the logo, saying that the S goes for Seiyu, which means voice actor in Japanese,
yeah.
which hints to the fact that it's going to be voice acted because the original Japanese version of the PS4 version is not voice acted. They
Hmm.
acted
Yeah.
voice acting just for the Western version, and you know Jordan because you interviewed Okamoto-san, right?
Yes.
Uh, but the thing is that he was dropping like a super small int, and there was the rest of the cast on stage doing like a big deal, like it was like he had revealed the word after the logo, and I'm like, really, not even a picture? Oh my god, this thing is gonna come out in 2025. Not that I care because I already played the PS4 version, I finished it, and I won't play another one. But
Yeah.
goodness, I mean, the people that are waiting for it for the Switch and maybe like held off
like
because they want
like
to
me.
play. Yeah, but you don't have a PS4, so you don't have a choice because you're strapped. Now the thing is that many people held off purposely from the PS4 version because being a JRPG, they want to play it portable,
yeah.
Hmm.
and they're like, "My God, this thing is never gonna come." I can see people that after today actually just went out and bought the PS4 version. They say, "Okay, that's it." If they didn't show anything talking game show, this thing is gonna come out in 2025,
That sounds
right?
about right for Square Enix.
Yeah.
It, sometimes they really announce their stuff too early. I don't think it's necessarily their fault. Like Final Fantasy VII Remake, they announced it way too early.
Yeah, I would agree.
But they basically rebooted development because they changed from Cyberpunk Connect 2, sorry, to internal development. So I guess
Yeah.
they did predict that happening, and I'm guessing that if that didn't happen, the game will be around already. And with Kingdom Hearts 3, they changed to Unreal, so and that would be out already if they didn't. But I actually liking a lot the new style Capcom has, that they
Y-
had things 6 months before and then they release it.
Yeah, I'm much more
Yeah.
a fan of that than, waiting 10 years for Final Fantasy VII Remake, It's like not
Yeah,
Yeah.
fun.
Waiting 15 years for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, that too.
I don't know. I think there has to be a happy medium, right? If it's like a year before, it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't need to be 6 months.
I
But when it
agree.
starts to become multiple years, okay, there is a lot of stuff to play. But for me, it's more for the game itself. Like it's not because I want to play it now, but it's because I think the hype actually drops with time, and
Mhm.
that is detrimental for the game itself, not for much for me, but for the game.
I feel
Mhm.
like I feel like Final Fantasy fans and Kingdom Hearts fans have just become accustomed to that style. So like the
Yeah,
hype never truly leaves. We're all just like, yeah, this is kind of what we're just used to, and the rest of the gaming industry is like, all right, well, good luck, guys.
but even Left Alive when they announced it because they had like this star-studded cast and whatever, everyone was all about it, right? And we're like, oh,
Hmm.
this Left Alive as Yoji Shinkawa, the director of Armored Core. It's gonna be fantastic. He has the mecha designer of Gundam and whatnot. And the problem is that they shown absolutely nothing for literally a year after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Left Alive was announced at Tokyo Game Show 2017, and the next trailer they released was at Tokyo Game Show 2018, well, at Sony's conference. And the first
Mm.
gameplay was exactly 1 year after the announcement, and it was streamed like shit.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I
what
don't
I
know if you
heard.
saw that those videos, but it was streamed probably with some discrepancy between the frame rate of the video and the frame rate of the other thing. So it was flickering like crazy. So that's not how you promote a game.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I don't know. I don't know really. I hope it's successful though, because I really like the Formation series, and Nabeshima-san, the director, told me that if it's successful, they may actually think about doing a proper turn-based like RPG front mission, and I would love it. But I don't know. I don't know, guys. And there is a bunch of remasters as well that they
Oh
announced.
yeah, but
Now,
strange remasters.
yeah,
I would say.
Last Remnant. Why? Who asked for
Yeah, yeah.
Remnant?
Even when I was writing, I was like, if you were thinking about this game still, well, lo and behold, here it is again. If you want to buy it this time, I guess.
I mean, it was not a bad game. I played it and I actually liked it quite a bit on 360.
Hmm.
But I don't know if it has a audience. Why?
I feel the same way about. I know Resonance of Fate is a much more well received game, but
Yeah,
even that game is like a bit odd just because I don't remember it making like a big splash when it came
it did
out and
not.
not many people talking about it.
But Resonance
Yeah. Yeah.
has a
It wasn't
really
really
popular
popular.
system, so it has its niche. I don't know if I mean even Last Remnant has a peculiar battle system or whatnot. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think Resonance of Fate definitely has a bigger attractive, I guess.
Hmm. I
Hmm.
would be more
I
inclined to give that one a try than The Last
Sure,
Remnant personally.
certainly.
I actually think Last Remnant's game system is easier
Yeah, it's easier,
than
much easier. I mean,
the
Resonance of Fate
the
is
other.
complex.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
know the one that actually I think made people happy that the Ace Attorney trilogy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That one is nice. I mean, and I kind of expected it to come to Switch, but I did not expect it to come to all platforms. And
Yeah.
that's nice because everyone gets to play it, and that's always good.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
I've never played those, so I'll be happy to give them a try for the first time.
I actually played the first and the third. I didn't play the second.
Mm.
The only problem for me is the localization. Right? The localization is awful.
Yeah. It's a weird choice.
Yeah.
It's like the localization of 80s anime where they
Yeah,
will change the names and stuff.
it's not that
Yeah.
they literally erased any reference to Japan, to the
Yeah.
setting. Like it's set in fucking America. Sorry, but it's set in America. So I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, the game is fun. The game is nice. It's localization that really I hate it.
If they're
Yeah.
gonna remaster anything, though, they really should get to work on some of those Wii JRPGs that came out, like Last Story. That
Yeah,
was God, why am I blanking on
but
his name right now?
looks like that was Sakaguchi.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Geez, yeah, you can't forget that.
yeah,
Lost Odyssey.
yeah, but it doesn't seem very interesting working on console lately. Like it's all the stuff is mobile.
Yeah, but that game I hear I haven't played it myself, but I hear it's actually very good, and I would definitely be interested in trying it.
Yeah, it is. It is. If it
Yeah.
just play it on a Wii.
Yeah, I'll go find one. Dig it out if I
Uh,
don't.
well, just look at the Final Fantasy 15 articles. That's the one on the featured image is a character by Sakaguchi or
Hmm.
by Sakaguchi's team in an actual real new console. And tell me why. Why don't we have this kind of stuff?
So maybe the workload is a little bit different for him. I don't know. Didn't he wanted to get out of console development for the most part, it seemed like when he left Final Fantasy way back when. It seems even more strenuous now than it was back then.
Uh,
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. Mm. We got some gameplay of Sekiro, which is also good.
Yeah, it's very
This time
excited about
I'm
that
playing
one.
not better than me. Uh, they actually the funny thing is that when the big thing about Souls games is the bosses, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And when I played it at Gamescom, they did not let me play until the boss.
Oh.
So okay, stop here, all right. So where's the boss? A while longer. Thank you. This is make me play this. But the gameplay they showed was very interesting. Actually, it was the producer playing it. Uh, I believe Conkey, his name is Brian Conkey.
Hmm.
He's a Western guy. Is like Robert Conkey is a British guy, I believe, and works at From Software. Seen him a bunch of times. And this was actually supposed at the beginning to be a Tenchu game. Then
Oh, okay.
they changed it because they said if it would just make Tenchu, it's not going to be. It's just going to be an imitation. So should we make another Tenchu game, right? So
Yeah,
they made its own thing. I
I
still
think that's
want
a good call.
I still want the Tenchu game though.
And if they do
I'm
make
okay.
it, they should make it more
I'm
Tenchu, less
okay.
Dark Souls.
I mean, I'm okay to have this that it's more Dark Souls, a different thing, right? But I
Yeah.
want Tenchu game also. Maybe not by them, by whoever, but I want Tenchu game because I really love the Tenchu series.
Mm.
A funny story about the Tenchu series. I haven't personally played any of them, but when I visited Japan, I went to a cat cafe and noticed that the woman who owned the cafe had a bunch of PS2 games on one of her her like desks or something. And I picked them up and I started going through them, and then she was like, "Oh, do you play games?" I was like, "Yes, of course." And she said I could pick one, and I saw the Tenchu box art, and I grabbed it, and she's like, "Go ahead, take it." And I was like, "Awesome, thank you."
You
So
gave
I
Tenchu,
just I own a Japanese copy of Tenchu 3 just
and
from
he was
that,
going
but I'll
to
probably never use
oh,
it.
Wrath of Heaven. That was a nice one.
Yeah,
Funny
somehow.
stuff about Wrath of Heaven. When I started in the gaming industry, my first job was writing walkthroughs for a magazine, and I wrote the walkthrough of Tenchu 3 Wrath of Heaven. Long job. Actually, it paid better because you were paid by the page, and walkthroughs are long, so it wasn't a bad job at all. Unfortunately, that magazine closed because GameFAQs and all those took over, and no one bought magazines for shows anymore.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm old, guys. What can I say? Um, what else there is in terms of news? We're almost done, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm, what else? Oh, they show a new screenshot for Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, which I'm very excited about because Vesperia is probably my favorite Tales.
Yes. I'm very eager to give that one a shot because, since I live in America, it was only available on 360 over
Yeah,
here for some odd reason, and because that was like
not an
the
odd reason. Microsoft paid for it.
yeah, that I
Yeah.
didn't, and that was the time. And at that time, I was transitioning from, I was an Xbox person my whole life, and I was finally my Xbox had red ringed one too many times. I was like, okay, I'll go with a PS3 and see how I like that. And then
Yeah,
right when I did that, Tails came out. I was like, oh, I can't try that. so I never got the chance to play it. So I'll be interested in actually giving that a shot for the first time because I hear it is one of the better
Yes.
Tales games, if not one of the
Yeah,
best.
Did you play it, Jan?
yeah, I played the PS3 version 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. I got it for 10 euros because there was a best price edition,
Uh-huh.
and it's a really good game. Yeah. I'd say my favorite Tales of is Fantasia, also, the
Well,
first one. Yeah.
everyone likes it. The thing though is like I played the 360 version and I liked it a lot, but it left a bitter taste in my mouth because they never looked like the PS3 version. It had more stuff.
Yeah.
I felt like I was missing on it,
Hmm.
so I did not enjoy it as much. And I actually played it when the PS3 version was already released in Japan, and I actually held off playing the game until it was clear they wouldn't come. So
Hmm.
I played it because I had to play it because I love Tales, but it left a very much big bitter taste in my mouth because I was playing it against my will, knowing that I was missing on content. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was annoying, really. But I tried the Switch version. It actually looks very good.
Yeah, that might be
Uh,
where I give it a shot. I don't know. I kind of like trophies too much to not get it on PS4.
See, that's the issue. I don't understand why people are care too much about trophies. So
I don't know why I do it. It's maybe it's like a OCD thing. I know. I just like collecting them. I just like the way they're presented. It makes me feel
uh,
like I've achieved something, you know?
yeah,
yeah. I think I'll get the game on Switch again.
you do know that you must have your trophy secrets as a journalist, right? No, okay,
Yes, yes, so no one
okay,
can truly judge me.
yeah. No, it's not the judging. It's that you risk the leaking
Oh
stuff.
yes, for yes,
No,
spoil
just
purposes.
checking because you never know.
You have
Anyway,
to find me
yeah.
first.
I give him your address. I just use I use it as a scapegoat. Another thing that's interesting is Dead or Alive 6 got some new gameplay, some new reveals, and they went like pretty much all the way into the fan service with this one. So much for yeah, we're gonna make a serious fighting game. Sure, and not really. They did exactly what they did with 5. That
Hmm.
they started with the whole Iyane fighter thing, and then they went all the way into the fan service, and it's exactly the same thing they've done now with with 6. I mean, not yet to that level, but the direction is that.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But I am actually interested to see how far they will push it. Like how far they if they 350 or 360 or 340 from. Oh, sorry, not 360. That's just going the same direction. 180 or 170. U-turn. I just want to see just how much of a U-turn they make because there is no doubt that they made the U-turn.
Hmm.
And it's interesting, but actually, I like the new gameplay they showed. They actually showed some new costumes that are like pro wrestling inspired. They're pretty cute. So yeah,
I'll be
that,
interested in trying that one out. I don't know if I'll buy it, but we'll see. Depends.
well, I like the like strangely contrary to popular belief, I really like the gameplay of the Dead or Alive series.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, me too.
very
Yeah.
fast, very like it it feels the hits. Okay, it's physically very strong. It makes you feel there are actually people fighting. You know,
Hmm.
most fighting games feel soft in the impact.
Yeah.
That's why when someone gets thrown into the ground, they really get thrown into the ground, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's something that appeals to me. And then there is another game that I don't know if you guys have tried yet, the demo. Project Judge. That's fantastic.
I don't believe I've tried that one. No, yeah, no, definitely not.
That's the Yakuza non
Oh
Yakuza.
yes, 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 yes. Okay, yeah, of course, yeah. I,
That
I definitely haven't played that yet. But
that was interesting because Nagoshi came on stage and I was like, oh yeah, this is totally different game from Yakuza series. I wanted to make this for tons of years and it's got nothing to do with the Yakuza series. It's set in the same place. The gameplay is similar. The character is different, I guess. And there is a little bit of Ace Attorney in it, but come on, it's not totally.
Does it take place in the same universe?
Yes, it's the same place. It's
I
not
see.
just in the same universe. It's set in the same district, not the same city. Set in Kamurocho. I mean, Kamurocho is a fictional version of Kabukicho Tokyo. So it's not like they say, okay, they set in Kabukicho, so it could be a different universe, right? No, it's set the fictional version of the Yakuza fictional version of the district. So it is absolutely in the same universe. I totally expected there's gonna be a Kazuma Kimido cameo somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because not totally different, but the game is great. The demo is fantastic. It's in Japanese, so you probably can play it without problems. But I played it. You can play it to Jordan because it's simple. Gameplay difficult. I know you don't read Japanese much, right?
Not yet. No, I'm trying to learn a little bit more, but it's a process. It's much different than the other languages I've.
High level of just reading a video game, you don't enjoy it. So I understand you. Because if you have to go look at a dictionary every 3 minutes, the game is nothing more. So that's a great game, and I advise you guys try the demo because it's fun. Did I miss anything? Yeah, and you covered the game show a lot.
There's new iPhone, the Romancing Saga 3 remake.
Oh yeah, that one. I actually never been interested in Romancing Saga. I don't know why.
I like the series, but I got into it pretty recently, actually.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, all the rest was like small thing, but there was quite a bit of interesting stuff. This Tokyo Game Show it was not maybe the best, but it certainly was not the worst either. It had a lot of fun. It was very stressful, but it had a lot of fun.
That's good to hear. I'm glad you had a good time.
Well, actually, it was. I mean, after Gamescom is absolute hell. Like one man in Gamescom is literally hell on earth because you literally don't have a second free. Tokyo is more like since Tokyo is like 2 days for business and 2 days for consumers, and it's very much more relaxed in certain ways. So you can actually go around and try games, and just even soak in the atmosphere. I mean, so it's not as bad as Gamescom, and I like Japan, so that's an added bonus, I guess. So what's your takeaway from this Tokyo Game Show? Let's start with Jordan, since you're the newbie.
It was a little like you kind of said. It was a lot of it wasn't as big with me in series and games that I'm as interested in, so it definitely wasn't the most exciting Tokyo Game Show. I'm definitely glad we got to see more of Kojima's Death Stranding, because I just want that game to come out so bad. As someone who's recently had gotten into Metal Gear Solid 5 and played all of them. I'm also super stoked for Resident Evil 2 remake because that's one of the only ones I haven't played in the series. And other than that, I mean, those are definitely the two I was most interested in. Like you said, Left Alive looks really interesting. I'd be definitely interested in giving that a shot because it's like a Metal Gear type of aesthetic, I guess. But other than that, no new announcement that I was super blown away by. I wish we got to see more Dragon Quest on Switch. I was really looking forward to potentially seeing that. We didn't touch upon it, but Dragon Quest Builders 2 looks awesome.
Oh yeah, that's good. I forgot about that. I actually played it. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one. I played a lot of it on the Vita.
I mean, it's Dragon Quest Builders one.
Yeah, with a little bit more oomph.
Yeah.
But yeah,
gameplay wise, it's literally the same game.
Oh really? But they've definitely I've assumed added some things at least.
Yeah, it's like Valkyria Chronicles 4 compared to Valkyria Chronicles 1.
Okay, I gotcha.
So they did add mechanics, but the gameplay loop is pretty much the same. Yeah. Not the thing because Dragon Quest Builders 1 was great. I'm not bashing it. I'm just saying that if you like Dragon Quest Builder 1, you will like the second. Sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'll be patiently awaiting more news on Final Fantasy VII Remake at some point, hopefully. maybe someday.
Yeah, probably when I retire, probably to celebrate my retirement, probably trailer. I'm not saying release the game. I'm saying giving us another trailer. Maybe show some gameplay. What about you, Ian? Anything super interesting for you?
Yeah, I think the game that hypes me the most is Left Alive because I like mecha. And nowadays you have a lot of mech games and you have a lot of shooting games, but you don't have a lot of games mixing the two. And in the past, you used to have on SNES, you had Cybernator, for example, that was similar, or Mech Warriors, but they don't do that kind of games anymore where you can go on foot or a pilot. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Interesting. Anything else?
And
Well, you really like the trending. Come on.
yeah,
Just because
yeah, exactly, yeah. I like Kojima, so yeah. And I say one thing I'm a bit disappointed about is announcements from Sega. They, beside the Project Judge stuff, they didn't really do much. I was there was special announcements yesterday that they were teasing, but that turned out to be a new project on Kemono Friends, which is a popular anime, and that was a bit disappointing. I was expecting something else, and they didn't show the next Sakura Taisen either.
Oh yeah, I actually forgot about that because that's another one that they announced with nothing and they showed
Yeah.
nothing since. I was super excited about it, but they literally showed nothing about it. They showed a wall of Sakura petals, and that's it, and the logo. So thank you Sega for this tease, but show me something, right?
Yeah.
When I actually forget about the game, that's bad. Like literally bad, especially Sakura Taisen because I love Sakura Taisen.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. If I forget about it, it means the marketing is not right. Oh well. Anything else comes to mind about good stuff?
We only really got a trailer for that upcoming Square RPG, right? I forget the name of it, but we got a
Oh,
little
the one by
tease.
Studio Stolia,
Yes.
which is the the studio headed by the Tales producer, the former Tales producer, the Obaba. Yeah, we just got. It's funny because it doesn't even have a like that trailer when they shown it. It didn't have a title in it. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
So yeah, because the title was announced before when they announced the studio, but so they put the name of the studio and finally I connected it. But I was like, the heck is this thing? It looks good for what they shown. They showed a guy walking around. A guy walking around. I don't know. The one that was very exciting, but we're going back to the Sonic press conference for me was what's his name? Project Awakening. That one looks really good, which got us our biggest shocker award, by the way, for obvious reasons, because that was shocking. But yeah, we haven't seen much about that as well. We want for a while because it's like very much long in development still. So we'll see. But Side Games is a very promising company.
Yeah.
Looking forward to see what else they do. I love Grand Blue Fantasy. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Unless any of you guys have anything to add.
There was another game I was expecting to see, but it didn't appear. It's 13 Sentinels, the next game by Vanillaware. Yeah, it was supposed to release that year, but it completely disappeared.
Yeah, and now I remember it. It actually appeared somewhere at E3 somehow, but really not in any specific way. Just I have no idea what the hell happened with that one.
I think it definitely got delayed because it was supposed to be out by now. So yeah,
it has to be 2019 for sure.
Yeah,
but that's true. I totally forgot about the thing. The funny thing is that I don't remember exactly what they showed it, but like no later than E3, no earlier than E3, they showed it in a trailer of that, but it was an old trailer with 2018 still.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what happened with that one. I love Vanillaware, so I'm looking forward to it. But no, we'll see. Well, if they have to delay it, they have to delay it. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's pretty much always been a Vanillaware title at Tokyo Games. Like last year, they had um,
The Odin Sphere remake?
no, the Dragon
No?
Sky remake. The Odyssey remake was the year before.
Oh,
So yeah, I kind of missed it. Yeah, I will have to see, right?
yeah.
Anything else that we missed, Jordan, on your side?
Not that I can think of. I think we got touched on almost everything.
Yeah, and it's 3 a.m., guys. I need to go to bed. I mean,
Oh,
here in
yes.
I actually have to go somewhere tomorrow morning that I can't say because it's under embargo as well. Oh my god. So yeah, it's actually my Tokyo Game Show is not finished because I have 4 major interviews this week. I can't talk about any of them. Actually, I can one. Well, it's not the one that's not major. I can talk about, which is a Mavlov interview. That's gonna be next week, actually.
Oh,
Oh,
that's exciting.
Yeah, for me because I'm a big Mavlov fanboy, uh,
yeah.
and for the Mavlov fans that don't get that many news lately because they were waiting for next project. Definitely is exciting. I know Iyane Mavlov is not your favorite visual novel because you're a heretic. It has to do because you're French, I guess.
Well, because I'm not really. It's not like I dislike it, but yeah.
Shame on you. I'll convert you sooner or later. Anyway, yeah, I think we're done. So expect more content because there is content for Tokyo Game Show that's still coming, and then there is these 4 interviews, 3 of which I can talk about, and the other 3 are bigger than Mablab. Even if I love Mablab, so for me that one is the biggest. But that's just for me personally. I think objectively the other ones are bigger. Quite a lot too. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for liking and subscribing on the YouTube version of this podcast because I know you like it and I know you will subscribe. So again, this was Giuseppe Nelva, Yen Agossah, and Jordan Boyd, our new Vice Weeb, and we are off. Say bye, guy.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.